Hi everyone, so today I am doing my makeup rehab update 1 because it's March and we have January and February to cover, so I thought I'd do it before I end up with tons and tons of products to mention and I don't want to get it to that point. So I'm going to share with you what I've purchased and what I've used for those 2 months. If you haven't seen the intro, I'm going to link it in the cards above, and it will explain what this whole series is about. Basically, it was started by Paige from Thrifty Beauty, and she's done this series on her channel where she's tried to use up more makeup than she's actually purchased. And that was in turn inspired by Elle S's Reverse Rouge, which I'm happy to say I personally am not even, I don't even register on the Sephora website or even the Mecca one. I used to be a level 2, but I think I've just dropped off altogether because I predominantly buy from indie brands, their own official website, as well as like Beautylish, because they stock a lot of the brands that I'm actually interested in. The goal for me in this makeup rehab is to just not buy as much makeup as I have in the past couple of years, because I actually keep track of everything that I buy. And let me tell you, it was quite astounding. Let me know, do you do that? But yeah, that's the main goal. I don't want to spend as much on makeup because I just don't want it to just take over my whole life. And I really want to shut my stash. I think that's a lot of people's goals this year. Of the people that I kind of surround myself on YouTube, I hear a lot of people wanting to do that, and that's really encouraging because that's helping me as well. And then the second goal is to actually use up more makeup than I purchase, give or take. Anyway, I'm gonna go through my January and February purchases, and then I'll talk about what I've used. So I feel like I was pretty good in January. I only really bought 2 things, although they were quite expensive things. I bought the Pat McGrath Decadence palette, which is what I'm wearing on my eyes now, as well as a little bit of the Linda Hallberg Metallic Mysteries palette. I really love it because it just gives that wet look effect. But this palette is gorgeous and it has a nice smell. Now, I'm the kind of person that I don't really like strong fragrances or artificial scents in my makeup. I just feel like it's unnecessary. This one actually has vanilla bean extract in it, so it's not an artificial smell. It's quite pleasant and it's not too overpowering. Personally, actually, if I am to wear a perfume, it's usually a gourmand, so something with, you know, maybe coffee or vanilla, edible stuff, because that's the scents that I'm attracted to. But this is a gorgeous palette. The pigmentation in here is insane and really nice. I mean, I couldn't expect anything less from Pat McGrath because pretty much everything I've used from her brand I've been really impressed with. I also used this palette in my collab with Georgia Harris. The look that I did, that was inspired by her collaboration with Dior. I haven't played with this enough. I really need to play with it more. But again, I love this palette. It's beautiful. And then I also bought a lipstick from the Pat McGrath Matte Trans range. This was one of the newer shades released. This is Modern Woman. It is a kind of purple lilac color, more cool toned. And again, I have worn this in one of my looks that I did. I do like her Matte Trans lipsticks. I like the formula, and it was a color that I was interested in, and I like the shade. I do not regret buying them because I think that they were really, really nice, high quality purchases. Now, those 2 things cost me 244 Australian dollars. I'm gonna round everything up or down. That seems like a lot, but for me, compared to what I was spending last year around the same time, it is significantly less. So I feel like I'm making some improvements. It's still really hard because I see all those new releases and a lot of them I lust after. But after stepping back and giving myself some time to think about it, oftentimes I have passed on them. But those 2 things I really wanted. I just was so attracted to the shades in there, and I've really enjoyed the looks I've created with the palette. And again, really impressed with the quality. Now, in February, I did buy a couple of things as well. If you've seen my Get Ready With Me that I recently did, where I talked about brand pleasing and PR, you would have seen that I recently did purchase a couple of things in February from the MAC and Jeremy Scott collection. The Lo-Fi palette, as well as the Acoustica palette, because I got sucked in by the packaging. I've read so many reviews. I've seen Temptalia's, I've watched a couple on YouTube. I know that overall a lot of people think the quality is not so good, and let's face it, if you're buying this, you're pretty much buying it for the packaging. I know this wasn't a smart purchase. I did buy it when I saw that it went back in stock in Selfridges. There were like 4 more left and I picked up one of them. So maybe this was a little bit of FOMO, but I have played around with this a bit, and even though a lot of the colors you really do need to build up, again, I have enjoyed the looks that I've created with this. So I can't say that this is a complete dud palette for me. I was so attracted to the packaging, and I really enjoyed the fact that this was a colorful palette, because I feel like I have not really been interested in any MAC palettes in a long time because the shades just don't appeal to me. I know a lot of people think that this is wasted space, but I feel like at least the negative space has a purpose, given that it is supposed to be like a stereo and the sound system and everything. So I think it's quite cleverly done. I bought it for the packaging, but I also like the shades in there. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. I might feature it in a Project 10 Wears at some point. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I also bought this cheek palette, and it has a blush, a bronzer, and a highlight. There's nothing special about the shades, let's face it. I feel like they're pretty stock standard. The highlighter is pretty intense. I was surprised when I put it on. I put too much on. I did it in one of my looks, and I'll put it on the screen if I can find it, but it kind of went on too strongly. I didn't realize that it was going to be that blinding. I feel like it doesn't look the most flattering on the skin. It does emphasize texture, so it wouldn't be my go-to highlighter. I prefer something like the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. The glow portion of a highlighter just looks really beautiful on the skin without making your skin look aged. And then the bronzer, I've used it before, looks fine, decent. And the blush. I feel like these purchases weren't necessarily the smartest purchases, but I just kept thinking about it in my mind, even though I saw those reviews, and the collected me wanted to have this. Cheek palettes, I do find that I do use a lot, and those are, for me, one of the easier products to pan because I do use blush, bronzer, highlighter pretty much every day. I have been enjoying them. I don't think that they're bad products. I just don't think that they're revolutionary, and if you didn't pick them up, then I don't think you miss out on anything really. So the MAC Jeremy Scott palette was $85, and then the cheek palette was $51 from Selfridges. I am a Selfridges Plus member, which means that I get free express shipping, but you do have to purchase a subscription. I think it's around $80, but Selfridges has really good competitive pricing compared to if you buy something in Australia. So by the time you buy up everything, I feel like I've gotten my money's worth. That if you only want to buy a couple of things, then I wouldn't recommend it. Personally, I kind of feel like that's a smart business decision, because if I look at websites like Muse Beauty Pro, which charge honestly an arm and a leg for shipping to Australia, if they did something like that, which would help them at least absorb some of the cost, I just feel like they would still get more business, because you know, you'd get my business at least. I'm glad that they have something like that, because shipping from Selfridges usually is around £20, which is really expensive. And then the last couple of products I bought were from an indie brand, Impulse Cosmetics, which I have purchased from them before. I've purchased some of their eyeshadows as well as some of their duochrome lip shades, and I really enjoy them. I feel like they've got some really unique shades in their collection that you just really don't see in the mainstream. And I bought these duochrome makers, and they come in the sample size. Their sample sizes are pretty small, but I'm glad that they pretty much offer sample sizes for everything. I'm not the kind of person that will be panning like a lipstick or an eyeshadow or something like this, which is like a transformer type of product, because this is marketed as multi-use face, eyes, body type thing. And I have used one of them as kind of a highlight, and to be honest, it didn't really show up that much on my cheeks. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I've only used it once, and I'm gonna have to play with them a little bit more. They do look very pretty swatched. But yeah, the sample sizes, I can't remember how much is in here, maybe like 2 mils. It's really, really tiny. So altogether, these were $37.80. Not the cheapest product ever. I probably could have bought a full lipstick for that price, but I did want to try them out, and I do like supporting indie brands. So yeah, I wanted to see how they go, and I'm going to be playing with these a lot more. So You'll probably see them in my Project 10 wears in future. So altogether in January and February, I spent $418, which I think it does seem like a lot. I know that to some people this is going to seem like a lot, but for me, it is actually a lot less than, again, what I've done in the past. So I feel like I'm not too unhappy about that. Anyway, let's move on to what I've used in January and February, because that will make me feel a lot better, because I do actually enjoy using makeup and I want to make it my mission this year to actually use up more of what I already have. By the way, some of the products I couldn't find exactly how much I purchased them for, because some of them I might purchase them on sale, others I might have bought overseas. So I'm just going to use the retail price for how much I used up, because I just feel like that's easier. The first product I used was this Estee Lauder BB cream. This was in my Project Pan. This is $58. So sad to see this go, but had to go, too old. Another product I was really sad to see go was this KW blush in Desired Glow. The good thing about this is the compact is reusable. So when I purchase another one, I can just buy the refill and save a bit of money. And I definitely do want to repurchase this once I use up more of my blushes, because I really love this blush. This was another really enjoyable makeup product to use. It was great for days where I wanted minimal makeup and wanted to look healthy and like I had a bit of color on my face. This was $78. So I've got a couple of liners. I've got the K Palette 24/7 liner. That liner lasted for ages. I would definitely repurchase that again, because I feel like that was really worth my money. I probably used it, I don't know, for a year, and it was still good. That was $21.31. I think I bought it from Sasa, one of those kind of Asian websites, because it is a Japanese brand. I also used up a Kat Von D Trooper liner. I think this is okay. I don't know if I would repurchase this one. This was $28. Finally, that one's gone. I don't actually use liner as much as I used to, but black liner I used to run through quite a few because I would just wear it on almost every day, but I hardly ever wear liner anymore. I've used up a mascara product. This is the LANCOME Hypnose Star Waterproof. I actually really enjoyed this mascara. I can't remember where I got this from, if it was a free with purchase or if my mum gave this to me, I don't know, but I'm still gonna include it in my used products because that's what I'm doing. This is pretty much almost dry, but it's too old and I don't want to risk it. And Mel from Aussie Beauty Talk, she actually washes her mascara wands and just reuses them. So I think I'm gonna do that because I actually really like this wand. Now that one retails for $52, which is a crazy amount for a mascara. I wouldn't pay that much for a mascara. I also used up an Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and this is in medium brown. I've already repurchased one. I feel like this doesn't look super natural, so I don't use this by itself. I like to use a powder as well as a brow pen, depending on how much time and effort I want to put into my brows. But I do enjoy it. This one retails for $38. And then the last thing I've got is this Daiso Clear Brow Gel. I actually quite like this. It's not the most, you know, stronghold kind of gel. The good thing about this though, I would say, is that it doesn't make your hairs really stiff and hard, which I hate. This one, it makes my brows still feel like brows. I have already repurchased this one and I have enjoyed it. But again, I mean, don't expect miracles for $280. So those were 7 products that I've used in January and February, and altogether that was $306. There's a bit of a gap, and I'm gonna have to focus a lot more on using my products and not buying as much. I can already tell you that I am struggling. I have so many things on my wish list that I want, and I feel like if I hadn't done this makeup rehab, I probably would have just purchased it already and just, you know, not thought twice about it. But now that I'm doing this, I realize how hard it is to resist. It's so hard to resist on something that you really want, even though it might not make logical sense to actually have it because you might already have similar colors. I think a lot of brands do their marketing really well and just try and suck you in. So I'm trying to stay strong. I feel like this is quite a confronting process to be like, this is how much I spent, this is how much I've used, and they're nowhere close. But anyway, I mean, this is a learning experience for me. It's the first time I've really sat down and analyzed what I've used versus what I've purchased. But yeah, I did want to share the process with you because I do want to encourage you as well, if you're going through the same thing and one of your goals is to spend less or just balance it out a bit more and shop your stash. Anyway, let me know if you are doing something similar. Let me know if there is anything that you want to buy and you want me to talk you out of it. I'll try. I don't know, if you've got any thoughts or comments on anything that I've shared in this video, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, but anyway, if you want to see more of my face, if you want to see more videos from this series, please subscribe, and hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.